Hello, welcome to my prayer and fasting. My name is Christine, and today we're working on jewelry for Jesus. This is my handmade jewelry with prayer and purpose. So if creating high quality artisan jewelry sounds good to you, then let's get into it. So what is jewelry for Jesus? So jewelry for Jesus is my way of honoring God through my creativity. So every piece is handmade with intention, integrity, and prayer. So it's about surrendering my gifts back to the one who gave them to me. And today is super special. We're celebrating my niece Haley with making her a very special one-of-a-kind handmade necklace as a gift offering for her wedding present. So let's take a look at her copper wrapped pendant first, and then we'll design the necklace. Okay, so this is Haley's handmade wire wrapped pendant. It is a Red Sea sediment jasper. It's a teardrop. It's irregular shaped pendant, and the size of it is 30 millimeters by 40 millimeters. That is Haley's pendant, and I use pure copper and stainless steel in pretty much all of my jewelry. So let's take a look at her other beads that I have picked out. So I chose pink opal for her. So these are all little pink opal. And then these bicone copper. And these are pure copper. These are fire polished 2 millimeter luster opal in the color champagne. And then I chose copper because it's, first of all, just beautiful in my opinion, but copper is really strong. It's also very flexible, hence why you can wrap a pendant in it, but it will last, pretty much forever, especially if it is coated. So copper will tarnish, like pure copper will tarnish. And if it's like a ring, it can turn your finger green unless you put a protective coating over it. So these beads that I bought already have a protective coating. So they are pure copper coated. And then for my pendant, I will later brush Protected Clear over it. So just like this ring, I dipped it in Protected Clear, which is what this is. And so if you're using pure copper, it has to be protected. Okay, and then for the clasp, we're gonna go with stainless steel because it is hyperallergenic. It's extremely strong, and so I have this little 8 millimeter magnetic clasp, which I just like the magnetic because it's super easy to put on and off. You need to make sure that it's at least 8 millimeters to hold that pretty heavy pendant. And then we have stainless steel jump rings and clamshells, as well as stainless steel crimp beads. Okay, so we're probably going to use this. This is just like that stuff that you can lay down in your kitchen drawers. But it's really cool because it has like this texture on it. So then my beads don't roll away. You know what I mean? And we'll see how this does and how well you can see everything. I chose this kind of cream color because it's pretty visible. So we will put that there. And then let me show you the wire that I'm going to use. And so I pretty much use this soft flex beading wire. It is satin silver color, and the diameter is 0.019. So that would be 0.48 millimeters, but it's really strong because it is 49 strands of, I believe it's steel. Leave in the comments if I'm wrong. But they basically put 49 strands of steel together, and that's why it's so strong. And then the tools that we're going to use, we're going to need to use crimping pliers. So these are by Xeron. Most of mine are. So we're going to use that. And then I have these, and I did coat them in plasti dip, and that's so it doesn't demolish my copper wire whenever I'm making a wrap. And then we have some flush cutters, and I do like this. This is by Bead Alone. I got it from Michael's. So that's basically the tools that we're going to use. I have my piece of string here, and I'm going to use this bead stopper. And so these are pretty cool. You just like open it up, put your wire inside of it, and close it, and then your beads won't fall off. I did cut this quite long. That is because of my nails. And at the end, when I'm trying to put the crimp bead on and the clasp and the clamshell and all those things, it's just easier for me if I have extra room. So I did have the choice of using a larger bead in the middle, but sometimes we don't need to add more. We just need to, you know, let what's already beautiful shine. And so this pendant is absolutely stunning. And so if we make our strand with, you know, delicate, smaller beads, then this is really going to pop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 8 of the fire polish 2mm opal in the color Champagne. So I just, let me show you a tool that I have. So this tool's awesome. It just goes like that, and it can grab some and it can put them in my hand. So I will go ahead and string 8 of these on. Okay, so we got those on there. Now we need to figure out our pattern. So one thing you can do is you can take a piece of tape. You can lay your tape, oops, upside down, like so. And you can lay out your beads and see what your pattern like. So that's one of the things with making necklaces, is that if you can just get your pattern down, then you're like, you can set sail. You know what I mean? So we have the sticky side of this up, and we're going to start with getting our tweezers. We're going to put one of the fire polished opals down. And then I think we're going to do one of the pink opals. And another probably fire polish. And then I think maybe a round copper. I did think about this before beginning this video. Another fire polish. You see how it just sticks? And then probably a pink opal. Now the pink opal, we kind of got to alternate because there's 2 different colors in here. Some are more opaque, some are more transparent. And then another fire polished. And then I think what we'll do is bring in one of these bicones. So I didn't want to overdo copper with all the copper being the bicone, because the bicone is 4mm and it's kind of big. And if I put it here and here, it might just kind of overwhelm the necklace, and we want the pendant to really shine, you know? So then what we're going to do is we're going to bring another fire polish. If we have room, hopefully we have room. Pink. So we're just basically at this point, we're going to repeat the pattern that's over here. So we have pink, we have the fire polish, pink, fire polish, and then that. So that's what we're going to do. And so now that we kind of know our layout, we're going to start beading. Now we have this pattern, and so what we're going to do is we will lay the beads out. So the pattern is this right here, and so we will lay some of this pattern out, and then all I have to do is string it. Okay, so that is what is really nice about this mat. So we already have the fire polish, so then we would, we'd start with a rondelle. So we'll probably do this rondelle, and then a fire polished, and then a copper, and then another fire polish. Let's see, we have this. We need another rondelle, but we have to choose the different style, I guess. This one's transparent, that one's opaque. Okay, so we made it that far. And then fire polish. So we are here. Are we here? We're here. Then we need our bicone. If you lay it all out, you won't screw up your pattern. You know what I mean? So I'll probably, each time I need to, I'll probably just do this. Okay, and then we have that. We need another rondelle. So we used opaque, so we're going to use transparent. Stay in line. And then one of the fire polish. And we're almost there. Copper. Round copper. And then the last bead would be fire polished. And then our pattern would start over. A way that I think is even easier to lay it out are in sections. So we have like this little bit's a section, that's a section, and this is a section. So then I have this section, and this section. And it's just, you want to do everything that you possibly can to make sure that your pattern doesn't get messed up, especially with it being a wedding present. Is looking good, and then what I'll do is I will continue on with that pattern, and we'll come back, put our clasp on, and pop our pendant on and see what Haley's necklace looks like. Praying that I have enough. And I'm also praying over these beads as I'm making it for Haley, as well as praying over Haley, you know, and her marriage, and for her success, and all the things that we want for the people that we love, right? And then one more, and then I'll put these on and we'll see where I'm at. Okay, so I'm gonna merge all this together, and we're gonna see how long it is. So what I think I want is, I'm going to want to have more of the fire polish up here, because you want the back of the neck to not be so heavy. And then, I don't know, just in studying jewelry and making necklaces and stuff, that's what I've learned. It's like, it would be ideal to have, 12 on either side here. But I don't know that I have enough to do that, and so that's why I'm waiting to kind of see how many fire polished opals this whole thing is going to take. But I can see that this necklace is going to be really pretty. So I'm thinking it's getting there. I feel like I need a whole nother section, because I want the pendant to hang like right below the collarbone, I think. This is what it's looking like. I am out of the pink rondelles, these little guys. So we're gonna put the last set on, and we know one thing, right? That God is good. So he'll figure it out. If all else fails, I can maybe put something else on. All right, so what we have left is we have one extra, and then we have 10 for this side and 10 for this side, and we're just going to pray that the necklace will be perfectly long enough. So this is our necklace. I ended up finding a couple more beads, so that's awesome. I think it's gonna set right where it needs to set. And let's get a ruler, see how long it is. I have no idea how long a necklace is supposed to be. I'm just gauging it off of where I want it to sit on my own neck. So right now, it's probably like 16 inches is what I'm guessing. And then we're going to put the clasp on. So for our clasp, we're going to do this stainless steel. We're going to start by putting on our clamshell. So I'm just going to open this because I find it easier to really get up close on the crimp bead. We're going to put this on first. Maybe. We have that on there. And then we're going to put on our crimp bead. Maybe. Okay. And then I am going to loop this up and around. This will make it more secure. So we're going to loop this through. I'll show you that. Okay, so on there, I put it on, and then, I know it's hard to see, I came around and back up through there. And then we're going to bring this towards the top up here. I want to give myself as much, because if I can like leave some of my wire left over, you know, for other projects, I will do that. Okay, so that's probably good enough. So we're going to pull this really tight. We're going to get some of our pliers. Take this and get this as tight as we possibly can. Just like that is perfect. Okay. We can pull on it in just a second. So let's get our crimp. I'm going to put this right on here. And we are going to crimp this down as I'm pulling on it. So that is crimped, and then we can crimp it the other way. These are really sturdy because they are stainless steel. And then we're just going to pull our clamshell up in here. We're going to snip our wire as close as we can to that crimp bead. they call, okay. We have that there, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to close this. You can put glue, which maybe we will. Let's get a little bit of glue if you want to make it extra secure. And so I use this V7000 glue, and we can put just like a dab of glue right inside our clamshell. If there's left, come on. You just dab it in there, and then you can close it. That's just going to like help it to never come, you know, undone, which is what we want. Okay, so we're going to do our other side. I have my clamshell in my hand. I'm going to open it. This is the side you really want to have it open. I love stainless steel because it is so strong. Like if you use zinc alloy, it's just super flimsy, and these just snap apart. It's crazy. So I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to stick this crimp bead on. So now we got that there, and then we have to do that same thing. Okay, when you do this, you want to not have it be super tight, because you don't want your necklace to like buckle like that. You just want to make sure everything's loose, loosey-goosey, and then we'll pull this down. So get that tight. This is just fighting me. So now I gotta get my crimp bead crimped. I'm gonna crimp that, and then I have to try to crimp it the other way. Okay, so we have that crimped, and then we are going to clip this off. And then I'm gonna put my B7000 glue in here. I'll take this and whoop. I swear it is not this hard. It's just filming is hard while doing it. Okay, so we have all of that. We are on the home stretch. Now all we have to do, cover our glue. I do have jump rings. They are magnetic, so they are sticking to this clasp. Okay, so I'm gonna put the pendant on, just because I don't think it's gonna fit over the clasp. So let's see. Oh, it's not gonna fit. Okay, that's not good. Let me figure this out. Okay, Haley is really making me work for her present. So it does fit, but you got to come on each of these rondelles sideways, which is actually a really good thing, because once we get it centered, you know, like it's not gonna move, which is cool. So let me just work it down to the bottom. Okay, so I got it. Yay. So we need to put our jump rings on. This is gorgeous. I love this. Super pretty. For me, just starting jewelry like a month and a half ago. It's not too shabby. Okay. And with that said, if I can do it, anybody can do it, right? We are going to put this on here. If I change my mind and put on a, like, make it a clasp, I might do that, because I don't know how sturdy, like, I just don't know if I could do, like, a sturdier clasp than this, you know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna focus. We're gonna concentrate here. We're gonna put this on here. Real time, you guys, real time. Okay. Put that on there, and then we need our magnetic clasp. And then we need to close this, which is always fun because this is magnetic and it wants to magnetize, I guess, too. Please don't come off of there. Please don't do it. We've spent enough time on you. Okay. Close it. Once you close it, you feel like you're in the home run. All right, now we need one more. One more for Haley. This girl, I know, like, so Haley was the very first baby in our family. It was me and my sister. We were, like, the age to have kids. And then I had my brother and my younger sister. But anyway, Sunny, said, we were sitting out on the deck, and she told my mom I'm pregnant. And my mom gasped for air. And she jumped up and she started shouting, and she was so excited. And then I always called Haley Betty Boop because she had the biggest lips when she was a baby. She still does. They're beautiful. But I love her so much, and I'm so excited to see that she's just, making something of her life and being a good human. You know what I mean? She's very kind and loving, and I just love her. So she deserves the best. Best for the best, right? Okay, holy cow, we made it. Let's look at this. Okay, so that is it. I think it is so pretty. So we had our Red Sea Sediment Jasper Teardrop Pendant, wire wrapped in pure copper. I'll go through and use Protected Clear on here to help it not tarnish and be completely protected. And then we did our pink opal and fire polished luster, our copper bicones and pure copper solid rounds, and just so pretty. Then we did stainless steel on the clasp. This is 8 millimeters. I think I'm gonna switch it out maybe for this 10 millimeter. Yeah, 10 millimeter. Or I might make a copper clasp for it. I just want it to be really secure, because in trying this on just now, just to see where it was going to sit on Haley, this is pretty heavy, So with that said, the clasp really needs to be sturdy so it lasts her a really long time. But I think putting the B7000 glue in the clamshells will really secure that, and then using the stainless steel crimp beads, that's gonna help with longevity, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's it. So pretty. I will spend time praying some more over this for her, that when she wears it, that she would feel special, and that God would use each one of these beads to bless her in some way, shape, or form in her life. Amen. Alrighty. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for making this necklace with me, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.